got a chance to see the new Emma Stone movie, Bugonia. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zankat, award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about Bugonia. I'm a big fan of Emma Stone. I think she has huge range. I did not see the film that she did with this director prior to, called Kinds of Kindness. It just didn't do anything for me, and the reviews weren't very good. And this director, his name is Yorgos Lanthimos, and he is Greek. And he also then did another movie with her called Poor Things. And I did see that, and I have a very mixed review on that one. If you'd like to check that one out, I'll put the link above. So I didn't really know what to expect because a lot of the other reviewers, either they absolutely love Poor Things, or it was also kind of a mixed thing like mine is, like my review. So I, again, went in there thinking this was probably going to be a mixed review for me because of this particular director working with pretty much the same people, right? But this movie was a little bit different than Poor Things. I don't think it took everything too far in a single direction where it was just kind of weird. Here it had a very, very streamlined plot, okay? Where Poor Things was more about a baby's mind in an adult girl's body. It was just too weird, right? This does get weird here and there, but you're kind of prepared for it, right? And like the whole movie is kind of leading up to weird, or not. You don't know. That's the whole thing. Is this movie keeps you guessing about how this movie's actually going to end, and if there is going to be a reveal or not. So again, this director, he has 31 credits right now, but it's deceptive because he's a music video director. So he really doesn't have a lot of features under his belt. And a lot of shorts. He has a lot of shorts in there. So at least like 2/3 of his credits are either music videos or shorts. But yet, I don't know what the budget on Kinds of Kindness was, but the budget for Poor Things was like $35 million. It was shot in Budapest. Okay? So that's still, I don't know if there's like a rebate there. But you can definitely stretch the dollar out, which meant that the film was, if there was no rebate, then the movie was probably in dollars, if you had moved it to the States, more around the $50 million range. That had a lot of set design, so I can kind of see where they spent that money, because the whole look and feel of that had to be created. And I know that probably cost millions of dollars. However, in Budapest, probably not. But even if it was, let's give it the benefit of the doubt that it was a lot of production design for that movie. And the reason I'm getting to a point here, okay? So this movie is about a CEO of a big corporation who is kidnapped / captured by a redneck, for lack of a better term. They chemically castrate themselves, him, and which is Jesse Plemons' character, and his cousin Don. And Don is slow, okay? He's mentally slow. And this guy named Alden Delbus, he did a really good job of playing slow. I mean, it was not overplayed in the least. So I got to give him kudos for that. And this is his acting debut as well. And I was even looking into the fact of why is she continually working with this guy, right? Do they have a relationship? Because I looked into that, but no, she's married to a guy from SNL, and they have a kid together. So it's not a sexual thing, because she's also an executive producer on this. I think I saw. So this film was shot in Georgia. It was shot here. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is that the kidnapping, right? So we have a shot or some scenes that take place in her corporate building and exterior of that building. And then we have some road stuff. And then we have some stuff at her house, mostly exterior. And then we have stuff at his house, right? And then that's it. We have a couple of extra scenes kind of put in, but nothing major. So where did this money go? Because the budget here was bigger than it was on Poor Things. And they didn't have any of the production design that they had in that other film. So I'm very, very confused about where this money went. If anybody knows, please tell me. Because they have some production design at the end, but nothing major. I could have shot this film for $1 million. And on top of that, it was not a studio film. It was an independent film. So it didn't have Paramount, Universal, or anything else behind it. I think it was Focus Features that distributed this. So he has to have some major, major money coming from Greece or whatever. He's got to have some donors behind him that constantly just hand him money. And I saw that Alicia Silverstone was in here. Oh my God, she did play the mom. I'm shocked. I did not recognize her, and the mom has such a tiny role. It's crazy. The actual speaking lines of this cast is extremely tiny. For the most part, almost all the scenes have Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Don, the character Don. Those three characters are the majority of the film. Then we have the cop that comes in and out, right, for like maybe 2 or 3 scenes. And then we have Alicia Silverstone, the mom, plays in 2 different scenes. And then we have some day players at her office. That's it. So it was written for low budget. So where is this money? I'm so confused by this. Anyway, before we continue, remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can, subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. Share this video out there. And on top of that, you can check out my stuff on Amazon, since I am a writer myself. You can check out some of the stuff that I've written. One of the major things I've written is a 4-novel quadrilogy sci-fi epic adventure called Destiny Aurora. And so if you like Star Wars, Star Trek, Guardians of the Galaxy, I kind of combined all that stuff in there. It was made into a board game, an RPG, a graphic novel, you name it. It's also on Audible, so if you like just listening, I have a man and a female voice in there. It was a husband-wife team, so all the females and males have their own voices. It's pretty cool. Also, check out my fantasy book, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch, where we have dragons and dragon riders, and we have magic, and we have a huge battle at the end. So if you watch Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, you're going to like that one too. And then my new comic, Fairy Tales of Terror. I think we have 8 pages left to finish up to get the first issue out. I've already written the second issue. It's pretty exciting. And this is about the Psycho Cinderella and Killer Captain Hook. And on top of that, we have Tiger Lily from Neverland chasing them down through New York City. It's pretty cool, and the art looks amazing. We have late pledge right now, so if you'd like to jump in there before I eliminate some of the covers, I'm going to be retiring them. Just go to fairytalesofterror.com. All right, and my filmmaking class went pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. So if you're interested in that, I do give them every few months. Just leave me a comment and I'll keep you informed. All right, so let's jump back into the movie. So the movie takes a little while to get going, and he continually has these extreme close-ups. I mean, continuously you're on this. And he must really, really like Emma Stone's feet, because this is the second film where she's like mostly barefoot through the film. So in the beginning, we're kind of leading up to what's going on, where he thinks, because this is the plot of the film, he thinks she's an alien. She's like, I'm not an alien. I don't know why you done it. And we have 3 days where there's going to be a solar eclipse where she can get back to her mothership. That's what he believes. And so he's got 3 days to break her before she goes back to the mothership, and he wants to go with her to negotiate with the emperor of the Andorians, and I think it's from Andromeda. I thought whatever that, I think that's that cluster of stars, Andromedan or whatever they called them. So he had done major research. Now, how he found out half the stuff he did. So that's why he cuts her hair, because kind of like Samson, she communicates with her hair, where Samson was her strength. Here it's a communication thing. It's almost like antennas. So he shaves her head, and the poor girl has to have her shaved head. It's kind of like what happened with Jillian there, with Nebula, where they had to shave her head. It's obviously grown back since, but she's going to have to use extensions for a while, I guess. Because she looks obviously far better with longer hair. But the acting is what holds this together, and the pacing. So once we actually get started moving, it could have been cut down, but the movie does move at a pretty nice pace. There is some things happening, even though it's pretty contained within the house and the basement and stuff like that. Even though it's pretty contained there. Oh, and we have a warehouse scene where she basically works for Amazon, where he packed boxes for Amazon. So there is another location there. And then the very end of the film, we have like a montage where we show like maybe 10 different locations, but there's no speaking roles, just a whole bunch of extras. Okay? So again, we just have extras, and that would not take a long time to shoot. So even if it took them an additional week to shoot all those 10 locations, which it wouldn't, it would probably take, maybe it'd take a week, I don't know. That maybe added an additional week to the shoot, but I just can't. I'm still boggled by the cost of this film, since it is mostly contained. It's contemporary. And mostly I got to hand it to the costumer, because they made him look very, very dirty. When I mean him, I mean Jesse Plemons' character, Teddy. He has a suit on, and even the cuffs are like yellowed. So really a lot of detail put into these costumes, even though they're just dirty. But that takes time to make all that stuff and look that way. And again, attention to detail. So I do like the film. I like this a hell of a lot better than I do Poor Things. I don't think it is divisive in that way, where we had basically a child that was having sex with everybody. I think that's divisive. Where this is more of is she telling the truth, or is he telling the truth, or is it possible that he's right, and all these things. And if he is right, they never say this, where did he come with all this information? So because he had heavy information. And did he make this stuff up? These are all things you don't know. But the end was pretty much satisfying. And because sometimes when you have this red herring type of thing, and then you walk out and you go, that didn't really stick the landing. And I think this one did. For the most part, I think it did. But yeah, I'm glad that they shot it here. But even at $55 million, even if they had a 30% rebate here, you're not going to get the whole rebate. still brings it down to like $35 million, because again, you're not going to hit the whole 30%. Which means that I can't imagine Emma Stone, especially being an executive producer, getting paid like 10, 12, $13 million for this film. And Jesse Plemons is not a big actor. No, I mean, right now, so Poor Things made basically $112 million, with 77 of that coming from international. So again, I don't know if he just has a huge fan base in Europe or whatever else, because with 2/3 of the money coming from international, it's not even because of Emma Stone. What's going to happen with this one, right? Because that one was 30 million, right? Even if they had no rebate. So the break even was just under 100, right? Maybe 85. So, it made 40 million, which is maybe why they upped the budget for this one, which was a mistake. Because now this one's only made it, of course, it's only gone wide this past weekend, but it's only made $11 million. So what was the difference between Poor Things and this one? Because they upped the budget and it's making less money. And if it doesn't blast through the next week or so, where it suddenly pops off internationally, this thing's going to lose. I don't know what the advertising budget on it was, and I can tell you that the marketing did not help it. I mean, the poster for this, you can't even tell what it's about. And it doesn't even look like Emma Stone even on the poster. So the marketing team did this no favors. And then it's got a very obscure title that has absolutely nothing to do with the film. So I think there's some things that are working against this film. So I liked it. I thought the acting was incredible. I think the sparring was great. I think that the choices that all of the actors made were spot on. I liked the plot. Again, for me, it was more like a $10 million film. Kind of like what I saw with Hallow Road, where it was a $3 million movie, though it took place in a car. Again, I just can't understand why they spent this money. I'm very, very confused by it. But anyway, I do suggest watching it. I did enjoy it. So I'm going to give this I'm between a 7 and a 7.5. If I see it on again, I might watch it again. So let's throw a 7.5 at it out of 10. All right. And if you have seen it, let me know what you guys think. Did you like it? Did you like the ending? Did you find it all suspenseful? Did you find the end worth it by the time we reach that point? Let me know. Arsa, give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. And don't forget to check out my stuff on Amazon and jump into Fairy Tales of Terror at fairytalesofterror.com before I start retiring some of those covers. And I do sign them and things like that as well. And I have digital copies as well. All right, that's it from me, guys. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you on the next one.